Imagine building the most powerful company in the world while promising you'd never profit from it. Two journalists, a year and a half of investigation, more than 100 sources interviewed, 16,000 words published in The New Yorker. The result? A profile of Sam Altman that feels more like House of Cards than a startup founder biography. Today, we're going to break it all down because the truth behind ChatGPT is far stranger than smart guy builds AI and gets rich. If you don't know who Sam Altman is, he's the CEO of OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. But more than that, he's the guy who, in November 2022, made the entire world panic about artificial intelligence. When ChatGPT launched, billions of dollars started moving. Every company on the planet said the same thing. We need one of those. It's what Tesla did for the electric car, only with much bigger implications. But before OpenAI, he was at a startup accelerator, a company that helps other companies grow. And that's where the story starts to get interesting. Inside that accelerator, he discovered a unique talent, self-dealing, using your position for personal gain. He had privileged access to the most promising startups. So what did he do? He got in as a personal investor before anyone else, sometimes with just $15,000 in companies that are now worth hundreds of billions. He got rich fast. It raised questions, but he kept going. Everyone who spends time with Sam Altman says the same thing. You start talking to him and suddenly it's impossible not to like the guy. He says exactly what you want to hear at the right moment in the right way. One podcast host summed it up perfectly. He's like ChatGPT, and that's the most perfect irony in this whole story. The product he built has exactly his personality, but the real test of his charm came with the founding of OpenAI. The problem was Google already dominated AI research. The most talented people in the world were there, making fortunes. How do you compete with that? Simple. You don't compete with money. You compete with ideology. The pitch went something like this. AI is going to happen no matter what, but it's going to be developed by companies that only care about profit. So let's create a nonprofit organization with the best minds in the world to make sure AI is safe for humanity. It was brilliant. There were researchers who turned down $6 million a year at Google to go work at OpenAI. $6 million turned down. Why? Because they wanted to save the world, or because they believed someone else did. With that pitch, he went out to raise money. He approached Elon Musk, the version of Elon who still wanted to save the planet, with Tesla. Musk opened his wallet, $50 million. And at first, everything worked. Serious researchers, a noble mission, nonprofit structure. But inside the company, Sam Altman was two-faced. He promised 20% of the compute budget for safety research. Never delivered. Promised one thing to one person, something else to another. And when someone pushed back, he'd say he didn't remember it that way. Elon Musk realized something was off. He asked to become CEO of the company. Sam said no. Musk left and went on to create Grok, a direct competitor to ChatGPT. AI was founded as a nonprofit. Sam Altman created a company inside that nonprofit structure, a for-profit entity. Then he made sure the board of the new company was basically the same as the board of the original one, with one exception. In practice, he controls everything. The nonprofit exists on paper. The money flows to the for-profit side. He signed a multi-billion-dollar deal with Microsoft, only told the team afterward, and only what was convenient. When someone actually checked the contract and confronted him, Sam said it wasn't quite like that. The contract was right there, open on the screen. The hosts summed it up with surgical precision. Sold the idea of a nonprofit, assembled a highly capable army to make it real, lied to everyone, and now he's going to take it public. Billions in the hands of a single man. In November 2023, something unprecedented happened in the tech world. The board of OpenAI fired Sam Altman. Official reason: he wasn't trustworthy. A pattern of behavior, consistent misrepresentations, failure to honor commitments. And that's when the story turns into real Game of Thrones level drama. In less than 5 days, there was intense pressure from investors, employees threatening to walk out en masse, and Microsoft, which had money on the line, announced an entire division ready to take in Sam and his allies. Basically, if he doesn't come back, OpenAI stops existing. The entire board was replaced, except for one person. Sam came back, and he came back with a condition. There would be an internal investigation to determine whether he had done anything wrong. Guess who ran that investigation? People he selected. The conclusion? He did nothing wrong. No written report, just verbal communication shared with a handful of people. Remember when Sam Altman went to the US Congress saying AI needed to be regulated? You have to regulate artificial intelligence. It's dangerous. It sounded like humility. It sounded like responsibility. But the New Yorker investigation points to another reading. Pure marketing. The subtext was, look, the guy running this thinks it's so serious he's asking for regulation himself. You should fund him. You should invest in this. He never intended to be constrained by regulation. When safety commitments got in the way of what he wanted to do, he simply dropped them. A pattern of behavior documented with sources. The investigation doesn't conclude that Sam Altman is some movie villain. What it shows is more subtle and more unsettling. A man with extraordinary charm, zero commitment to promises, and absolute control over the technology that's set to reshape the future of the economy and work. If half of what former allies say is true, that's a serious problem. If it's only a quarter, still concerning. And if none of it is true, even then, someone managed to turn a nonprofit into a company worth hundreds of billions of dollars and position themselves at the center of it. That alone says a lot.